In this video, I'm going to look at a few ways to work with multiple pipes or laterals per tree line. In Irrigation, it's called tramlines. So if you've got a block defined, you'll see I've got a block, 1 hectare block there. I might want to just change the color of that block just so that it represents something that's not going to interfere with what we see when we draw the actual laterals. Just make it white like that, and I'm going to switch my numbers and the area off. Right, so that's a irrigation block defined, and I'm just going to work with any emitter spacing, and then I'm going to use a row spacing of, say, let's make it 5 meters. Okay, so this is the standard method of just drawing laterals. You just get the pipes to load there. I'm just going to use any pipe, doesn't really matter what I choose there. Get a standard fitting in there. And we'll just start our laterals 5 meters from the edge. So that's the standard laterals that we normally work with. And those are, if I just say replot here and I press F6, or you can use F6 there, and we'll just measure the distance between two laterals. There we have it as 5 meters. Okay, and then I'll just go to global, delete nodes and pipes, and just delete all of those again. And then we have a tramline option here. So we'll just use tramlines 5 meters, and then I'll say I want a 1 meter or a second row if a meter away from the first 5 meters. Okay, notice how the program with that setting just draw the first lateral. So I'm going to do this again, but using the free method. I'm going to go say free. And then I'm going to use a snap mode distance on line. And I'm going to just click, you'll see, let's just change our cursor. You'll see that little snappable thing that appears. I'm just going to hold it on this line. If that's halfway and I click anywhere beyond the halfway line, it's going to start at this corner and calculate my distance this way. So that's going to be 0, and that's going to be 100 meters right there. So if I click there, I'm going to say start 1 meter away and see what happens. Okay, so there we have a meter difference between our laterals. It's not quite what I wanted. So I'll say no again and go full laterals. I should have said redo there actually. And let's just say 0.01. Okay, that's what I wanted. So we'll say satisfied, yes, and then we'll just go and measure a few distances there. So I'm going to press F6 again, and I'm just going to say show me the distance between. Okay, so I want to know the distance between that point and that point. Okay, so you can see it accumulated. So it's 5 meters plus 1. So which means that the 5 meters is actually from the last lateral to the very first next lateral. That's our 5 meters again. Okay. And then we're going to look at the tramline option. So in this case, this needs to be 0. I'm going to keep my general distance as 5 meters, and there's two ways to approach this. So I'm going to go and say tram lines, and I'm going to say there's one, let's make it, okay, let's say one extra. So it essentially does the same thing, okay, but we are saying that general distance is 5 meters, and we want to add one more line that is 1 meter away. Let's see what that does. And we'll use this fill laterals button here. Okay, I'm going to use that same 0.01. And then we're going to just measure the distances again. F6. And we'll measure from there to there. That's 4 meters. And the primary is actually 5 meters. So it's two totally different ways how the software does the same thing. And I prefer this method using the tramlines option, and I'll show you why. So I'll just go and delete all my lines again. Okay, so now thinking about that primary, the 5 meter distances, that to me could be the tree or the row spacing between the different lines of trees. So we'll use that tramline option again, and this I'm going to say I have an additional 2 lines, which means it will give me 3 lines. So I'm going to say -1 and +1. So now these distances refer to the distance between the primary, which is that distance, and we are saying from that distance go -1 meter, and then from that same distance go +1 meter again. So we keep referencing that center line. Alright, so let's see what that does. Okay, so in this case I'm actually going to use 1 meter because I want a line on the edge. So I have to now tell it that that first line is 1 meter away from the start of that line. And you see where the mouse is actually located right now. It sits on that middle primary lateral. So if we then go and measure that with our F6, and say from the center to the center should be 5 meters. And then from this one, that's -1 meter and +1 meter. Okay, and there you have it. Few ways to look at adding tram lines with Model Maker.